If you feel backed up, the most frustrating part is doing the right things and still not getting relief. Often, it's not one big problem. It's a few small mistakes that quietly slow your gut down. And the tricky part is that some of these mistakes sound healthy on paper. In the next minutes, you'll hear 7 common constipation mistakes that keep people stuck. You'll also get practical swaps that are gentle and realistic. No extreme cleanses, no complicated routines. Just the stuff that actually changes stool consistency and movement.
Think of constipation as a traffic jam. You need enough cars, meaning stool bulk, enough road conditions, meaning hydration and lubrication, and good traffic signals, meaning timing and nerves. When one piece is off, things back up. Let's start with the most common one. It's the fiber mistake almost everyone makes at least once. Moving to slide 2. Mistake 1 is increasing fiber too fast, or picking the wrong type for your situation. Fiber is helpful, but it works like a sponge. If you suddenly double it, your gut may respond with more gas, bloating, and slower movement. That can feel like constipation got worse. Another issue is relying only on dry, rough fiber, like large amounts of bran or raw salads when you're already backed up. For many people, a gentler approach works better. Increase fiber gradually over 1 to 2 weeks. Pair it with enough fluid so the fiber can actually hold water. And consider mixing types. Soluble fiber tends to form a softer gel, while insoluble adds bulk and speed. Foods like oats, chia, kiwi, and cooked vegetables are often easier than a sudden bran overload. If you use a fiber supplement, start low and give it a few days before increasing. The goal is comfort, not a fiber race. Moving to slide 3. Mistake 2 is adding fiber without adding water. This is the classic, I ate more fiber and got worse story. If fiber doesn't have enough fluid, it can make stool thicker and harder to pass. Hydration is not just about chugging a huge bottle once. Your colon absorbs water throughout the day, so steady intake matters. A simple check is your urine color. Pale yellow usually suggests you're in a decent range. Another helpful idea is pairing fiber with a drink on purpose. For example, if you eat oats, have a glass of water or tea with it. If you add chia or psyllium, follow it with extra fluid. Also remember that coffee can stimulate the gut for some people, but it can also be dehydrating if it replaces water. The practical goal is consistent hydration, especially in the morning and around higher fiber meals. Moving to slide 4. Mistake 3 is ignoring the fat factor. Dietary fat isn't just calories. It helps with lubrication and can support bile flow, which some people notice affects stool movement. When meals are extremely low fat, think plain protein and dry vegetables, stool can become dry and harder to move. This doesn't mean you need greasy food. It means you may do better with a small, consistent amount of healthy fat with meals. Examples are olive oil on cooked vegetables, a handful of nuts, avocado, or a spoon of nut butter. If you've been avoiding fat for weight goals, you can still keep portions moderate. The key is consistency. Many people also notice that warm foods with a bit of fat feel more moving than cold, dry meals. If you have gallbladder issues or fat intolerance, you'll want to be cautious and individualize this. But for many, adding a little fat is an overlooked piece. Moving to slide 5. Mistake 4 is treating movement like it only counts if it's a workout. Your intestines respond to body movement, especially gentle, repeated motion. If you sit for long blocks, the gut tends to get sluggish. The fix isn't necessarily high intensity, it's frequency. A short walk after meals can help trigger the natural wave-like contractions that move stool forward. Even 5 to 10 minutes can be meaningful when it's consistent. If walking isn't available, think about movement snacks. Stand up, do a few slow bodyweight squats, or climb a flight of stairs. Another overlooked piece is breathing. Slow belly breathing can relax the pelvic floor and abdominal wall, which can make bowel movements easier. The main idea is simple. Your gut likes rhythm. Small, regular movement signals your nervous system that it's safe to digest and eliminate. If constipation is a recurring issue, make movement a daily baseline, not a last resort. Moving to slide 6. Mistake 5 is ignoring the urge to go. This is huge, and it's common. When you repeatedly delay a bowel movement, the rectum stretches and the urge signal can get weaker. Meanwhile, the stool sits longer, and more water gets absorbed out of it. That makes it drier and harder. People often ignore the urge because they're busy, they don't like public bathrooms, or they're rushing in the morning. A practical fix is building a predictable window when your body is naturally ready. For many, that's after breakfast or after coffee, because eating triggers the gastrocolic reflex. Give yourself unhurried time, even 10 minutes. And if you feel the urge at another time, treat it like a real signal, not a suggestion. Over time, responding sooner can help retrain the pattern. If you have pain, bleeding, or major changes, that's a reason to get checked. Moving to slide 7. Mistake 6 is straining and pushing like it's a strength test. Straining can irritate hemorrhoids, worsen fissures, and it can actually make coordination worse over time. For a smoother bowel movement, mechanics matter. A more natural position is hips flexed, like a gentle squat. If your feet are flat and your knees are higher than your hips, it can reduce the angle your stool has to pass through. Another key is relaxing, not bracing. Try a slow exhale as if you're fogging a mirror. That can help your pelvic floor lengthen instead of tightening. If nothing happens within a few minutes, it's usually better to get up and try again later than to force it. Chronic straining can be a sign of pelvic floor dysfunction, which is surprisingly common and very treatable with professional help. The goal is ease, not effort. Moving to slide 8. Mistake 7 is relying on stimulant solutions as your main strategy. Some products and habits stimulate the bowel to contract. People often use them because they work fast. The problem is that if your foundation is off, fiber balance, hydration, movement, timing, you end up needing stronger nudges more often. That can create a cycle of urgency, cramping, and inconsistency. A more sustainable approach is to focus on stool texture and routine first. Many people do better with gentle, consistent supports like soluble fiber, adequate fluids, and regular meals. If you use occasional aids, think of them as a backup, not the plan. Also, pay attention to what might be causing the constipation in the first place. Travel, stress, low food intake, and changes in sleep can all slow the gut. If constipation is persistent, severe, or accompanied by red flags like weight loss or blood, it's important to get medical evaluation. Moving to slide 9. Now let's connect the dots, because constipation is rarely just one mistake. Think in 3 layers: stool, motility, and coordination. Stool is the material, enough bulk, enough water, enough lubrication. Motility is the movement, your gut's wave contractions, influenced by meals, activity, and stress. Coordination is the exit, pelvic floor relaxation, posture, and not straining. If you fix only one layer, you might get partial results. If you improve all 3, things often become more predictable. A quick self-check helps. Are you eating enough total food, or are you under-eating and expecting daily bowel movements? Are you getting a consistent breakfast, or skipping meals and wondering why the gastrocolic reflex is quiet? Are you sitting for hours, then trying to force a result at night? Small pattern changes can make a big difference over weeks. Next, let's talk about a simple daily routine that supports all 3 layers without being complicated. Moving to slide 10. Here's a low-drama routine many people tolerate well. Start your morning with a glass of water, not because it's magic, but because you're often a bit dehydrated after sleep. Then eat a breakfast that combines 3 elements: a gentle fiber source, some fluid, and a little fat. Think oatmeal with chia and a drizzle of olive oil or nut butter on the side, or yogurt with kiwi and a handful of nuts, plus water or tea. After breakfast, take a short walk or do light movement for 5 to 10 minutes. This is a simple way to use the gastrocolic reflex and body motion together. Then give yourself a bathroom window. No phone scrolling marathon, just a calm attempt with good posture and slow breathing. If nothing happens, move on with your day and try again later. The point is to create a predictable signal to your gut. Consistency beats intensity. Do this most days for a couple of weeks and track what changes. Moving to slide 11. Let's troubleshoot 2 common scenarios. First, I'm eating tons of fiber and I'm still constipated. In that case, look at water, fat, and timing. Also consider whether the fiber is mostly rough and dry,
like bran cereals and raw veggies, versus softer options like oats, cooked vegetables, and fruit. Second, I'm drinking water all day and nothing happens.
Water helps, but it can't replace bulk. If your overall food intake is low, stool volume can be low too.
Another angle is stress.
Your gut is wired to your nervous system.
When you're tense, the pelvic floor can tighten and motility can slow. That's why breathing and unhurried time can matter. Also, some people are sensitive to certain foods that cause bloating and slow transit, like large amounts of sugar alcohols or highly processed snacks. If you suspect a pattern, keep a simple log for a week. Meals, fluid, movement, and stool consistency. Patterns usually show up quickly. Moving to slide 12. A quick word on supplements and natural options, because people ask about them constantly. Some options work by adding bulk, like psyllium. Others work by drawing water into the stool, like certain magnesium forms, which some people tolerate well and others don't. Some work by stimulating contractions, which can be effective, but may cause cramping for sensitive guts. The key is matching the tool to the problem. If your stool is small and dry, bulk plus water often makes sense. If your stool is bulky but still hard, hydration and gentle osmotic support may matter more. If you're dealing with pelvic floor coordination, no supplement fixes mechanics. Also, natural doesn't automatically mean gentle. Even herbal stimulants can be powerful. If you choose to try something, start low, change one variable at a time, and give it several days. And if you have kidney disease, heart rhythm issues, are pregnant, or take multiple medications, you'll want professional guidance before experimenting. Moving to slide 13, let's talk about red flags and when constipation deserves a closer look. Occasional constipation is common, but certain patterns should not be ignored. If constipation is new and persistent, especially after age 50, it's worth discussing with a clinician. If you see blood in the stool, have black tarry stool, unexplained weight loss, ongoing severe abdominal pain, vomiting, or anemia, those are reasons to seek medical evaluation. Also, if you're going less than 3 times a week with significant straining, or you feel blocked even when stool is soft, pelvic floor issues could be involved. Another clue is alternating constipation and diarrhea, which can point to different gut conditions. The goal here isn't to scare you, it's to keep you safe and focused. Most constipation improves with basics, but not all constipation is the same. If you've tried the foundational changes consistently and nothing moves, that's also useful information to bring to a professional. Clear details help you get better answers. Moving to slide 14. Let's wrap this into a quick checklist you can actually remember. 1. Increase fiber slowly and choose gentler sources if you're sensitive. 2. Pair fiber with enough water across the day. 3. Include a little healthy fat consistently. 4. Move your body in small doses, especially after meals. 5. Respond to the urge and build a calm bathroom window. 6. Stop straining and improve mechanics with posture and breathing. 7. Don't build your whole plan around quick fixes. If you want one starting point, pick the mistake that sounds most like you and change only that for a week. Then add the next change. That's how you avoid confusion and frustration. Now I want to hear from you. Which is your bigger issue? A. Not enough water, or B. Ignoring the urge? Drop A or B in the comments. And if you want more practical, calm gut health breakdowns like this, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Fix the metabolism, not just the symptoms.